to help me present the next award, I'd like to welcome one of the very first Leadership Award winners and my fellow, what's the thing we used to be in, Anna? The Food and Society Policy Fellowship. Do we have any Food and Society Policy Fellows in here? Okay, Deborah, Anna, and me. And Deborah has devoted her career to improving the health of America's children as a co-founder of Food Corps and as the newest executive director of Let's Move and senior policy advisor for nutrition policy at the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Deborah Eschmeyer.
Good afternoon. Just seeing if you're listening, guys. Good evening. Gee whiz. Everybody feeling good? Let's give another round for Bryant. That was amazing. The food is delicious. So good. Thank you, sir. So Anna, we're taking this full circle. I don't know if many folks know, but Anna actually first introduced me 5 years ago to the day when I was able to receive the award. So this is very special. I would actually like to start out from the very beginning with a confession that I was very, very skeptical and guarded the very first time that I met you. And I'm sorry. I just want to apologize because Anna is very well educated and well intentioned, but also to me are rather scary as this like East Coast liberal. I would just say this coming from a Midwest dairy farm. And so we first met in Chicago. Do you remember this? We were at the National Family Farm Coalition meeting. Kathy Ozer, like the queen of low-cost accommodations and austere, like, right? It was a Catholic retreat center. It was freaking cold. And like, remember it was like all wood. And anyway, it was you, Molly, me, hotel room. We had a pre-huddle before a meeting with the dairy farmers. Is this coming too? Yeah. So I just wanted to meet with you in advance to see how real you were and like how like what your questions were and the depth of where we're going. And so the thing is I was really, really pleasantly surprised with the thoughtfulness and the depth of the questions that Anna was ready for the dairy farmers. She wanted to know about the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. She wanted to know about grain reserves. How many of you guys understand grain reserves, right? She wanted, did I see a hand back there? She really wanted to know. So immediately I was a little bit more at ease. Okay, all right, this lady cares about substance. It's gonna go okay. So then we go into the meeting with the dairy farmers, and Anna was in her element. She went into the zone. And it's because you were so incredibly warm and respectful and kind and just truly ever the seeker of truth and justice. You made the farmers the courageous and bold stewards of smart policy that they are, and you made them tell their story. And you brought the best out of them. And to me, that is true leadership. And you did that, and you turned to me in like course of like 12 hours. But the best part about this, though, other than this, is that she didn't stop there. Anna then continued to provide media training for these dairy farmers. She continued to be there via Campesina and forward thinking for all the food sovereignty work they were doing. And so you see Anna as the successful author and advocate that she is. But I really want us all here today to celebrate that at her very core, she is truly a beautiful, beautiful soul. And that shines through in how you are and how you act every day. And so, Anna, thank you for sharing your gifts with all of us and for all of the brilliant compassion that you bring to this work. We are all the recipients of that, and thank you. You've raised countless voices, and you've educated so many minds, and you've truly inspired a generation into intentional action. So thank you very much for being a friend, for welcoming me into your home, showing me what it is to be a good mother. I think the world of you. I love you. So let's just roll the video.
So I want to follow Deborah's lead and say that Anna has been an amazing colleague and mentor, and she's been such a dear friend to me. I would not be on this stage right now if it weren't for Anna Lappe. Anna Lappe, I had this scrappy NGO, Be Healthy, that used cooking as a way to engage young people around food issues. She read about me in this book that was chronicling food activism, and she cold emailed me. She said she never did this before. She was like, well, because they had my home address, because we were that scrappy. And, and she saw that we lived around the corner from each other, and she emailed me. We met for coffee, and then like 3 months after that, she suggested that I write a book. 2 days after that, she suggested that we write a book together. And I truly would not have this career doing what I love if it weren't for my friend Anna Lappe. So I present the 2016 James Beard Leadership Award to the brilliant Anna Lappe.
So Deb, I don't know if you would have been more scared of me if you knew that I wasn't an East Coast liberal, but a West Coast liberal, raised in the Mission in San Francisco. So I don't know if that would have made you more scared or less, but it's really, I gotta say, so amazing to get this award from the both of you. I couldn't imagine two better people to be giving me this award. You guys mean so much to me, so thanks, you guys. And I couldn't imagine a more amazing meal than the meal we had tonight, so thank you, Brian. I want to thank the foundation. As you can tell, I'm very touched to receive this honor. I also want to thank my amazing husband, who is such an incredible partner in all this work. And I want to take a second really to call out so many of you here in this room. I look around and I really see so many of my champions and thought partners. I see my comrades and co-conspirators, and it is so great to be in this room together. So thank you. I also want to extend a huge debt of gratitude to my family, those here with me tonight, and those here with us in spirit. And actually, what I had written down in my notes next was to use the phrase badassery. Little did I know that badass would be kind of the phrase of the evening, but I was going to say that I am particularly thankful for my family legacy of general badassery. Some of you might know, and as you saw in the video, the incredible work of my mother, who's here tonight, Frances Moore Lappe. Who, at age 72, is hard at work on her 19th book. And my late father, Mark Lappe, some of you know, who, with the genius of an epidemiologist and the heart of an ethicist, took on some of the world's biggest chemical corporations. 10 years ago, Susan Ungaro invited me out to coffee. I don't know if you remember Susan, in the West Village. She invited me out to coffee. She had just come on as the president of the James Beard Foundation. And at that coffee, she described to me this huge vision she had. This vision she had to connect the foundation's work with restaurants and chefs and food culture ever more deeply to sustainability and social justice, to the biggest food issues of our time. And I remember thinking, that sounds amazing. And I also remember thinking, to be completely honest, Susan, I remember thinking, is she really gonna pull that off? And standing here tonight, I really am so impressed by everything, Susan, that you and your team have done at the James Beard Foundation to do exactly that, so congratulations. But I also really feel like the success that we see with the foundation, I see this over and over again. From the change makers that we chronicled in Hope's Edge and that I chronicled in Diet for a Hot Planet, or that we support with the Small Planet Fund, or now the work that I do with the Ponte Foundation, I keep realizing the same basic lesson in this social change work, that you simply never know what's possible. I think about Wangari Maathai, when she planted 7 trees in 1977 to start the Greenbelt movement. Would she have ever been able to dream in her wildest dreams that she would one day win the Nobel Peace Prize? Or when I think about the Coalition of Immokalee Workers, and I think about the work that you did in the beginning, the boycott on Taco Bell, and how everybody thought you guys were completely crazy. And yet they have proven to be one of the most effective farm worker advocacy organizations in history. And so I am reminded constantly that there are absolutely no guaranteed wins in this work. But we do this work because we have no choice but to try to change what is so broken. And when 7 out of 10 of the most common risk factors for death around the globe are today diet-related, we have no choice but to fight for healthier food. And when 1/3 of all climate pollution across the globe comes from the food sector, I believe we have no choice but to stand up and speak up for a more ecological food system. And when 8 out of the 10 worst paying jobs in our economy are in food, we have no choice but to stand up for economic justice in the food chain. And what gives me so much hope is to feel that more and more people are standing up every single day. And what gives me so much hope is to see in all the places where we are winning, organic food is completely mainstream today. Big soda is completely on the defensive today. And I could go on. We talked about Meatless Mondays. Meatless Mondays is now an international phenomenon. And I was just looking at the numbers. Today, the number of farmers markets in this country has doubled in the past decade, and there are twice as many farmers markets as there are Walmarts. Who knew? I know. So of course, there is still so much that is broken. There is still so much work to do. But I also think it is so vital that we as a movement stand up and celebrate when we are winning. And I'm here to say, I feel like we are winning. So thank you.